So Death Stranding is very, very, very weird and fun at the same time, with a few sprinkles of head scratches in there. And to kind of give you an idea, I'm about 6 hours into the game currently. And past relationships with Kojima, I don't have any. I've never played a Metal Gear game, period. I haven't played a single one. And worse yet is I really have never even watched any of his games. Coming into this, I was both excited and worried. Excited because this looked and sounded so interesting. And worried because some people described some of the aspects to Red Dead Redemption, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I was so uninterested in Red Dead Redemption, I actually stopped playing it after a couple hours because I just couldn't get into the game. But how does any of this relate to Death Stranding? And before we really get into this, I also want to note that I'm going to stay as spoiler-free as possible. There will be some things that will be talked about within the first couple hours of gameplay, but most story-related things will be left out just for the sake of not wanting to share all the information for people so they can discover this game as they play. Now, the game starts off, we are playing as a character called Sam. Sam is a porter, and he basically just takes packages from point A and delivers them to point B. Through one of his travels, he ends up getting roped into helping out a body disposal team, and things just hit the fan from there. From that point on, you learn a little bit of Sam's backstory, who he really kind of is, and what makes him so different, and the reason he is the main protagonist here. Shortly after that, we are roped into helping out the president of what was the United States of America, kind of shifted into the United Cities of America to basically link up all these cities to a single network. This way, information and supplies and things can be shared between these places with less risk of running into things out in the wild. At first, Sam wants nothing to do with this. He wants nothing. He's not interested in it. He brushes it off and tries to leave, and eventually gets roped into helping out. Now, on the surface, you're going to hear tons of jokes, and even people talk about that this is just a walking simulator. And with that in mind, it is very polarizing on what side people are with on this game. Some people love it because it is so unique and different in some aspects. Other people hate it because it looks so bland and very just there, not really exciting to some people. And that fence is very well divided. But yes, when you do boil it down, this game consists of you taking packages from point A and delivering them to point B. Now, there's a lot more to it than just that, but, let's start there, at least. So, you do have a weight limit, and every package, every item you pick up consists of weight. So, if you're playing ahead and you go, okay, I need to pack up this shipment, and grab some equipment for the road. So I'm going to grab some ladders, a couple ropes to climb down sides of mountains. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, I've got a lot of stuff on here. And that makes it that you really have to plan where you're going and how you're going to get there. And you do have a map system and a pinging system to kind of tell you the terrain that's up ahead. And it is a very tactical game on that aspect. Obviously, the more you carry, the more you weigh, the harder you are to control. With rocky terrains, you're going to be having to hold specific buttons to keep yourself balanced. And if you're not careful, you can trip, either damage packages or lose them all together. And have to go pick them up and put them on top and kind of sort things out from there. And every package that you deliver has a rating on it to how much damage was taken, how long it took you to deliver it. And as you travel, you're going to learn specific paths that are easier to travel than others. It all depends on your first time going through it, though. So that's kind of in a nutshell what the game is about. It's basically delivering goods and supplies to these cities that need them, the people that need specific items, and the journey between the two areas. Again, on the surface, you're like, that sounds uninteresting and things like that. But as you keep going further through the game, you're learning more of the world, the Death Stranding that happened that wiped out half the population, to why certain things happen. So as you're traveling with these packages, you're going to run into several roadblocks along the way. One of the things you can run into is called the mules. And what mules are basically people that have lost their minds that were delivery people. And their only main goal is to stop you from delivering your packages, take them from you, and deliver it themselves. Craziest thing, but these guys can sense you from forever away. They put up sensors, and as soon as you get pinged, you got to high book it out of there because they are coming for your package. Another thing you're going to run into is called timefall, and which is basically rain that causes the body and items to rapidly age. Sam himself will put up his hood, and all your packages are exposed to the elements. So you do have repair spray to fix those kind of things, but you're constantly going to be moving through this. So you either have to find shelter, build shelter, something along those lines to protect all your gear. Now, the big thing that follows these timefall areas are BTs, or beached things. Through a couple different methods, Sam will be able to sense them, not necessarily see these BTs. And you're going to have to sneak through these areas, so you're constantly having this rain pelt down on you, destroying your packages, though it's not as detrimental as some people make it out to be in their reviews. I've noticed that they barely, it's so far, the times I've ran into it, it doesn't degrade them too rapidly. And again, you have repair spray that you can spray on them and it fixes them up, no problem. But you're going to have to sneak through these areas and cover your mouth and not breathe heavy when you're walking by them. Because as soon as they sense you, they send out little grasping hands to stop you. And eventually a group of them will puddle around you and try to drag you down into this black murkiness. And if you happen to get drugged down into there, you will have to fight one of these BTs. I've already had to fight one of them, which was a dolphin. And without the proper equipment, you can't really kill them well. However, if fighting's not an option, you just want to get out of there, you can just keep pushing forward and getting out of there. And eventually you'll break the area of the BT and be able to travel on. And that's one thing to know about this game is it's not necessarily about shooting everything or killing everything. When you find these mules, you knock them out. Now, can you kill them? Can you use guns and permanently kill somebody? Yes, but that's not really what it's about because of story reasons. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it. However, there's times that you're going to want to knock these people out quietly to sneak by, to move through campments, to just keep moving on that kind of stuff. Same thing with these BTs. You could take your time and kill them, but sometimes it's easier just to keep pushing forward and get your way through. Graphically speaking, I have to say this game is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Just to see the world and just look at the surroundings and the rocks, the greens, the water, everything just looks and feels so calming. And that's backed up with some amazing music in their soundtrack.
First of March, it's clear to me there's something that's uncomforting. Your body heads away with me, but I'm exactly where I wanna be. But I'm a long way from home.
And to piggyback off that is some really great voice acting work, not only by the main characters such as Sam and Deadman and Die Hard Man and Heartman. You have all of these great characters that do great voice work. But on top of that, their NPCs that are in the world via holograms are really good as well. Everybody just feels so natural. I think it's the best way I can say it so far. One thing to note about the menu system, and you're going to be in and out your menu pretty often, and that's all about, it is a little intensive, and it can be pretty intimidating at some points. However, I after a bit of time with it, and you really learn where to go, and you're getting that muscle memory down on how to sort things, how to fit things best for your backpack, and how to easily go through your menus to fix what you need to be doing. And again, it took me a little bit of time to do that, but it wasn't to the point of me flipping out too often of going, oh gosh, what do I got to do, and clicking buttons around. Now, when you're out in the field and you're carrying these packages, you will be off balance. You'll have to trudge through water, through slippery slopes, down mountainsides, across ladders, and you're going to be finding times that you're going to have to be holding left trigger and then right trigger, or hunker down, when you're walking through water, so you have to hold down both of them. Sometimes it gets windy, and if your packages are too tall, that can also take an effect on you. And again, it's one of those things that when you're hearing it, it feels very intimidating. But I really haven't ran into too many problems, except for my own stupidity so far. It's been working really well. Now, the one big thing that everyone is talking about in this game is the social aspect to it. As long as your game's connected online, and once you've been through and connected a city to the network, that area now populates with user-created items. And this is really interesting because I've used bridges made by other people because somebody else took the time and had a bridge made. I myself have dropped ropes around and left ladders laying places because somebody else might need them. Or I left a charging station nearby on one of the locations, hoping that somebody will come by and go, awesome, I could really use one of these right now. And that whole concept is really, really cool. And I definitely recommend playing this with an online connection. Now, you don't require PlayStation Plus for it, but boy, this is such a cool idea. Some other things you're going to run into out in the wild, I will note, is some loose packages, either lost packages by other real people, or just lost packages that you can pick up and kind of continue its journey. Now, the cool thing here is if you pick up a package and you deliver it to the next area, if it belongs there, you'll get points. And if it doesn't necessarily belong there, but you just turned it in, you still get these likes in a sense. And these likes help out with the social system. Same thing with all the items that are scattered throughout your world of putting up signs, bridges, post boxes. You give things likes, and that lets other people know that this is a useful item. It lets you know that you did something good to help somebody else out. You have this huge web of everybody working together in a single player game. And that thought right there is really cool. Now, some other things about the social system is sometimes you'll find people that put down specific items, and then you come rolling up and you go, oh, you need help building this, and you add your equipment to it. And so all of a sudden, maybe somebody only had maybe 200 metal to throw on it. You add another 200 metal on it. And then another person comes up by and goes, oh, you guys only need another 100 metal? Here you go. I'll throw another 100 on there for you. And boom, now we have a bridge built. Now, when it comes to the combat, there will be times that you will have to fight, especially when it comes to the BTs. And you have weapons that are made by your blood, your poop, and your pee. All of it is used as a bioweapon against these BTs. And you'll make your own grenades in a sense. And you'll load it up with your blood and throw it at these creatures to deal damage to them. And the first time you run into some of these huge BTs, it is a menacing fight. You're trying to sludge around in this tar while this big tentacle beast of some sort or this anomaly is attacking you. So you're constantly, okay, I got to get ready, and you're getting ready, you throw a grenade and try to scramble away. It's intense. While the fights themselves aren't overly hard, it is a play on the senses. Because you're trudging through this goop, so you're slow walking, and then you have all your packages on your back, and you're just trying to get to the next ground level to be able to throw another grenade. And then you run into a situation, maybe you're running low on supplies. This is another one of those social aspects. Online players that were in that area will toss you grenades or supplies of some sort. So then you have to run down there and grab those and start using those as weapons, all thanks to that person. You might have just defeated a boss. Now, to see these BTs, basically Sam has to jack into one of these BBs, which is a bridge baby. And again, there's a whole deeper story into that. And he's always carrying around this little tyke. And there'll be times that the baby gets stressed out, so you have to take time and kind of rock it back and forth. And Sam will sing little tunes to it, things like that. And it's just a cool little thing that really doesn't take a lot of time out for me personally, but it's kind of cute. It's a little cute in a creepy way, though. Now, for all intents and purposes, is this game bad? By all means, no. I'm addicted to it. I love games that are management-style titles. I find myself just walking along, seeing a loose package and going, I'll pick that up. And I pick it up and I throw it on my back, and I keep my journey going. I turn everything in, and then I go out and do it some more, and I just keep doing that. And there's just something oddly satisfying about it. It just feels so right. However, is this the game of the year? Man, I'm not far enough into the game to say one way or the other on that. I think that the game deserves to be praised for what it is. And if you're not into these kind of titles, that's okay. And maybe that's why I like it, because it is so different compared to everything else out there right now on a much bigger level. It's kind of like, you know, I love the game of Beyond Human. I really enjoyed it. But to some people, that wasn't a game. It was a, quote, walking sim. And I really enjoyed it. It was such a great title that told a great story. I feel like that's about this game. It's not always about the destination, it's the journey getting there. And yeah, again, on the surface, it's a package delivery. Picking up a box, taking it here. But it's also learning about the people that you're interacting with, these cities, this world. It all just melds together so well, I feel like. And I'm going to keep playing it. I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Again, being 6 hours into it, I'm scratching to play more already. All right, so that was the first impressions over Death Stranding. If you'd like to check out some content on it, click the link to your left. That'll take you to a no commentary playlist that is currently going on right now. And if you'd like to see some other content, click the link to your right. That'll take you to the channel itself, where we have tons of videos going on over there. Until next time, you guys, stay frosty.